next participant is Hassan Suhail, who is going to speak against the motion.
In a world stitched together by distant handshakes, globalization becomes not a divide but a bridge, lifting nations higher than they could ever climb alone. Honorable jury and my fellow mates. The winds of connection are blowing, but the walls of the mind are standing still. Some in dread, some in doubt, some in denial, and some in defiance. I stand here today to swim against the tide, to shatter the delusion that globalization widens the gap between the developed and developing nations. Here they come again, out of the shadows of isolation, the peddlers of panic, the merchants of misery, the sowers of separation. They come to say that connection is a curse, that globalization creates a battleground for the billionaires instead of a playground for the brilliant. But Mr. Speaker, they are misleading the House. Globalization only bridges the gap. If globalization is the villain and open market is the monster, then why do the developing nations rise the fastest in this most connected era? Why does this system decide who fades and who flourishes? But my fellows claim that globalization kills the poor. Look at the facts, Mr. Speaker. The World Bank reports that since the 1990s, countries like China, Vietnam, and India grew rapidly because they opened their doors to global trade. China became the world's second largest economy, not by hiding, but by integrating. If globalization widens the gap, then why does the student in the slum access the same library as the scholar in Harvard? Mobile phone penetration in Africa surged from just 5% in 2000 to over 80% today. The presence of WhatsApp and Nokia have democratized connection. The opposition sees only the shadow, I see the sun. They see pressure, I see power. They see peril, and I see promise. Globalization has created billions of jobs, taking our nation from begging to bargaining, from surviving to striving. So let us face the harsh truth that globalization is not widened by the open hand, it is widened by the closed fist. If you vote for this motion, you just imprison the poor in poverty. Do not call it a gap, call it what truly it is. The cost of isolation, the penalty of fear, and the death of progress. This is the harsh and undeniable reality. I repeat, this is the harsh and undeniable reality. Thank you.
So my question to you is, as you state that globalization bridges the gap, then why nations are moving toward deglobalization?
Thank you so much for the question. I guess if you may have heard my speech properly, you would have not asked this question. The answer is simply the countries which are moving towards deglobalization are very few. It does not mean that countries, seeing the countries which are moving towards globalization, we can define that globalization is creating a mess. It is simply like you say, you propose a statement just by seeing one or two students in your class. That statement is true floxinosin nihilifilification because it does not prove anything, it does not have any data, any statistics to prove that point. Countries true in this decade from very olden times till now, countries are moving towards globalization. They want to flow in the stream of globalization. Thank you.
Thank you so much, students. Our next pool is